Hello, Jody.
Hello, George. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can. Sound check affirmative.
Okay. Whoops. And let's see. Does anyone else want to join us?
I'm also here, George. So we have a quorum.
Okay. Hi, Pierre.
Hello.
Um,
Looks like we're waiting for Dr. Rowley.
right. And presumably for for either Mariposa or Lynn.
I think they'll meet us in closed session.
Pardon?
I believe they'll meet us in closed session.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah. Mariposa just joined the closed session, so she'll be there as soon as we come over.
Hi, Becky.
Hey, George, how are you?
Good. So, okay, welcome all. There are three of us, so we make up a quorum so we can start the meeting. I don't know. I take it that that Linda is still someplace in some bear's ears.
Something like that.
Bears ears. Yep. Southern Utah.
Is that what they're
Oh, yeah. It's a beautiful, beautiful place.
really? And Zuby, are you with us?
I am.
Okay. You didn't show up on visually. Okay, great. So I will now entertain a adoption of the agenda. Motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor, indicate by saying aye.
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 Aye. Opposed? Okay. Passes. Now I need a motion to go into closed session.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor of going into closed session?
Aye.
What was that, Tui?
Do we need a roll call to go into special session?
Yes, we do. Audrey, you want to do roll call?
Chair Gamble,
Yes.
Vice Chair Pugh,
Yes.
Secretary Quintana,
Yes.
Member Wilson,
Yes.
Member Siegel is excused.
Okay, thank you very much. So we'll now go into closed session, which means we have to get out of this go-to-meeting and we have to get into a new one. Let's see how that happens. Okay, could I have a motion to come back into open session?
So moved.
Second.
Second,
All in favor indicate by saying aye. Do I have to have a roll call? Do I need a roll call?
Chair Gamble,
Yes.
Vice Chair Pugh,
Yes.
Secretary Quintana,
yes.
Member Wilson.
Yeah.
Member Siegel is excused.
Thank you. We have a unanimous approval of coming back into open session. Okay. And now we have before us, who will take that? Will that be Becky? Are you gonna?
I think that's me, Chair
Uh,
Gamble.
Oh, Margaret. Okay,
Yeah. Yes.
please.
Right. I'm having a little trouble with my, is that thing on? Okay, there it is. All right, I'm happy to be with you all, Chair Gamble, members of the board, President Rowley, and I'd like to go over the following items with you. Let's start with the Second Amendment to the collective bargaining agreement between Santa Fe Community College and SFCC AAUP. This particular amendment focuses on the compensation for the last quarter of FY22, as well as compensation for FY23. What you'll see is that the MA plus 45 column of the 9-month and 12-month faculty salary schedules has been revised to reflect a 2.4% increase between steps. And then the FY22 salaries of full-time faculty who were impacted by that revision will be corrected for the fourth quarter of FY22. After that revision, we've taken the full-time faculty matrix and increased or aged it by 8%. That's the 3% that the mandate plus the 5%. So 8% total for each step as set forth in the full-time faculty salary matrix. And that's an attachment to this particular Second Amendment. You will also see that bargaining unit employees whose salary is off the matrix or off step will receive an 8% increase as well to their current FY22 salary. And so that is going to be calculated to be effective as of April 1 and will be paid to the bargaining members for the fourth quarter of FY22. So then for FY23, that matrix that has already been aged will carry forward. And so that's the 8% that has already been put in place will carry forward. The other thing that will happen is that those folks who are in the MA plus 45 grade and whose salaries are off the matrix, those folks will receive an additional 2.4% increase for FY23. And that's to make up for the folks who were on the MA plus 45 will see a change because of the revision to that column in the matrix. Therefore, those that are in that column but off step will receive the 2.4 for FY23. In the second portion, Article 17.2.3, we made a revision to the language there related to the LMS gradebook. And then in the third section, this is Article 26.5, and that focuses on leave accrual. And the agreement is that 12-month employees' leave will be capped at 240. And we are agreeing that for this year, at the August 31st, 2022 point, 12-month employees will receive a one-time payment of 0.5, half, 50% of the hours of accrued annual leave over 240 hours at the employee's pay rate on August 31st, 2022. So that is the information in the Second Amendment. Do you all have questions, or would you like me to just continue through each of these amendments? I'm not sure, Chair Gamble, how you'd like to handle this.
Why don't you continue?
Okay, I'll be glad to. Sure. So next we have the MOA related to workload. And this is very much like the MOA that you saw last year related to workload. We are going to have the conversation and analysis of what types of work falls outside of faculty contractual duties. We'll have that conversation and analysis in the faculty management committee meetings in preparation for next year's bargaining process. And so there are some specifics, what kinds of supplemental work is carried out between contracts, how do we define what falls outside of a faculty member's contractual duty? Those types of things will be examined by the FMC, and that's a group that is comprised of both union and management. And if that group needs a subcommittee or a work group of faculty and management, then they can put that together as well. And so that is the MOA related to workload. And then finally, there is an MOA related to ATA, alternate time assignments for full-time faculty officers in Faculty Senate. Full-time faculty officers have received 2 ATA for their work as officers in Faculty Senate. The proposal here in this MOA is that they receive 3. That is going to facilitate a full-time faculty member being able to drop a class, release from a class in many cases in order to do their officer work for Faculty Senate. So those are the 3 items. I'd just like to add that the union bargaining team members were S.J. Miller, Christy Erickson, Tracy Roberts, Laura Rosenfeld, and Lenny Gannis. And your management bargaining team members were Jim Wysong, Nick Tellez, Yash Morimoto, Mariposa Padilla-Sivage when we needed her help, and myself. And I'm grateful to everybody for their work together on this. Are there any questions that I can address for you all?
I have a question.
Sure.
The MA plus 45 matrix, do we know how we got to that point where it was a little bit divergent from the other? Was that an oversight, or was that something we put in at some point on purpose?
Board Member Wilson, I am not going to have an answer for that. It has been in place for many years, and I don't know if Nick wants to speak to that, but I don't think any of us really know the history. That is the way it was created, and it has been in place for a long time, just like that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes,
Yeah.
Mr. Chair, Margaret hit it hit the nail on the head on that, because we did go back to look to see if we could find any when the discrepancy took place, and we couldn't find anything. So it's been in place for a really long time.
Any other questions or comments?
I guess my other question would be, there are officers of Faculty Senate that are not members of the bargaining unit, and I'm hoping that at some point we can look at policy to find out whether we're going to have equal compensation for all members, whether they're part of the bargaining unit or not.
We will absolutely look at the policy, Board Member Wilson. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wilson, I think, Mayor Posa, do you want to address that? Because you are correct that we do need to do that, I think.
Board Member Wilson, I did look quickly, and we do need to address that, and I will work with Ms. Smallry to make sure that that one change to that ATA and the policy for all full-time faculty members is addressed and put in process.
Okay, any other questions or comments?
One other question. Does anybody know what the timeline of the union voting on this is at all, or is that?
My understanding from information that I was given last week was they were to discuss this at a meeting on Friday, and voting would open on Friday and continue through the weekend, and I think close sometime today. And so I suspect that they'll have a vote, counted and ready at some point in the next day or so.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. If no other questions or comments, can we vote on that as an entire package? Or do we have to vote on each one individually?
I would think the MOU should at least be a separate vote, if not each of them separate.
Yeah, Chairman, I'm going to agree with Zuby that we probably should have 3 distinct votes, one on the Second Amendment, one on the spring MOU, and one on the on the MOA, and one on the final memorandum of agreement.
Okay. So let's call a vote on the first item, which is it, Margaret?
It's the Second Amendment to collective bargaining agreement.
Okay. So do I hear a motion on the Second Amendment to the collective bargaining agreement?
I move that we approve. Give that one to Jody.
Okay.
It's okay, Zuby, you can have it. Second, I'll second. Zuby can.
All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
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 Aye. Anyone opposed? No. Motion carries. Second item is,
It's the memorandum of agreement between SFCC and SFCC AAUP.
okay. Do I hear a motion in favor of this MOA?
So moved. I move for approval, I should say.
I second.
All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? None opposed. It passes. Okay, the third document is,
The memorandum of agreement focused on Article 34.10A.
okay.
I move
do
to approve.
we have a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. Anyone opposed? Unanimously passed. Thank you very much. And is that all of our business for today?
I would just like to thank our management team, because I know that the collective bargaining can be challenging and time consuming, and I appreciate all your hard work and coming through an agreement and reaching an agreement with the union.
Thanks so much, Board Member Wilson.
Yeah, I totally agree. I'm sure it's a challenge when there are differences of opinion. Great.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to thank our team too, and also the union team. I think that it is a very time-consuming effort, and it's a challenge to stay on top of all of the various pieces of the agreements. And I think that we did have some challenges, but I think that we were all committed to trying to overcome those challenges, and that makes a big difference. So I am glad that that we are at this point today, and thank you all for approving the agreements.
Yes. Thank you all. And do I hear a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
All those in favor indicate by waving goodbye.
Hi.
So approved. Thank you all very much.
Thank
See
you.
you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye,
Have a
guys.
good day.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye.
Bye-bye.